All right, here we go, folks. This is the skeleton notes for the ISO project, which is due Wednesday, March 2nd at the end of class. So we'll have today, tomorrow, and Wednesday to work on this. Pretty simple project, guys, taking 7 images. First thing we're going to do is, step 1, let's open up Adobe Photoshop Creative Cloud 2016. This step will be omitted from future skeleton notes because at this point you should all know how to do this, okay? But I'll go over it really fast. You go to Applications under the Finder window. The Finder window is located in the bottom left-hand corner. You find Adobe Photoshop. Let's see here. That's Flash. It's alphabetical, so there's a design. Photoshop. You double-click on this, and it'll open up Photoshop for you. I currently already...
ISO and then the date.
We will get to that part, okay? All right, this is from a previous project, so we're just going to ignore that. Step 2, click on File in the menu bar and choose New. So up here in the top left-hand corner, File, New. Or you can hit Command-N as a keyboard shortcut. When the new dialog box appears, title your project, ISO project, the date, and your initials. So for example, ISO. The date is 02/28/2016. And then your initials. Think Twitter, guys, when you do this. So capitalize like ISO and then the P. So each new word gets nice and capitalized. Everything else leave lowercase. Remember, no spaces, backspaces, hyphens, or any special characters within these titles. Numbers, letters, and spaces. That is it. Put any of those other things in there, you'll get some kind of error code that'll pop up. Okay? So, number 4. Set the width to 8.5 inches. Inches, that's super important. Had a couple folks hit pixels last time around still. The height to 11. The resolution to 300. And the background contents to 0. I'm sorry, transparent. And then click OK. And we're going to get a blank template here. Just like that. Very good. Number 5. Next, open up all 7 of your images by going to Command-O on the keyboard. When the open dialog box appears, locate EOS Digital. First thing you need to do, though, and this is not in your skeleton notes, I assume you already know this, is you're going to have to stick in your SD card. Remember to eyeball it. Make sure you put it to the correct slot. You're going to pop it in. I'm going to hit Command-O on the keyboard. Remember, just a quick note, if it doesn't say Photoshop CC up here, you're working in a different program. Because like normally when you put in your SD card, that photo thing pops up like this. If it does, just exit out of it. We don't need it. And see at the top here, it said Photos for just a second. We're back in Photoshop. So I'm going to hit Command-O on my keyboard. Let's see. There's the Open As dialog box. Once this appears, let's see here. EOS Digital. So first thing I'm going to do is locate my device under Devices, EOS Digital. And then I'm going to go to DCIM, hit the drop-down box there, and Canon 100. And then I'm going to have all the content I have on my card. So I know we took these images this morning. So it was 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good. And then click OK or Open. There you go, Open. And it's going to open all 7 of my images. Number 6, you're going to crop your images to an aspect ratio of 2.5 inches wide by 1.5 inches high with a resolution of 300. So with that said, let me just point this out really fast for you. If it doesn't say width times height times resolution right here, you're in the wrong one. Excuse me. So sometimes it gets switched over to ratio. Make sure it's that one. The W times H times resolution. So the dimensions were 2.5 inches wide. 2.5. I hit tab to toggle over to the next one. By 1.5 inches high. 1.5. And a resolution of 300. Now, if you took everything directly straight on, this should be pretty quick and simple. So I don't have to adjust it up and down or anything. I'm just going to hit Enter. And it's going to crop it. And it should make it much smaller. I'm just going to go through and do this for all of my 7 images. This should take just a moment.
Is the horizon off?
What was that?
Is my horizon off?
That's all right. It is a little off. Okay, and now I have all 7 images cropped. That took what, 10 seconds? Okay, next, number 7, pull them over to your blank canvas and align them on the left side of your canvas with ISO 6400 at the top. Okay, we know it's ISO 6400 because of the how bright it is. So I'm just going to pull these over. So this is my darkest one. Where would this one be? At the bottom, right. So using the move tool, you can use the V on your keyboard to switch to, or just click on it. I'm going to pull them over to my blank canvas here. You're getting ahead, so calm down. So I'm done with that one. I'm going to go to my next one. Okay, so everything is now lying on the left side of my template here. So ISO 6400 is at the top. Number 7, selecting layers 2 through 9. Actually, that should be 2 through 8, I believe. So 8. 2 through 8. Hold down Shift. I'm going to select all the layers over here. So I now have 2 through 8 selected. And you'll notice a bounding box that goes around all the images. You should be familiar with this process. We did it in the last project. You're going to click here, and you're just going to center it. So as you bring it up, you'll notice that purple line appears. And now we know that all of our images are perfectly centered. Now, on the screen here, you may notice it looks like there's a line here, right? That's okay, because if I zoom in, it'll show us that it's actually not there. Or if it is, we can adjust it. Yeah, there's actually no gap there. It's just an optical illusion. And that has to do with the resolution of the screen. Okay, so don't stress out if you see that. Yes.
So is it alright to shift a little bit to the right so it's not on the border?
No, I want it on the border. Okay. I will be looking for that. Okay. All right, number 10. Now select the text tool. So text tool. We are going to set the font to Adobe. So ADOBE. All right. Capital G U R M U K H L. And if you actually, I didn't put it in there. Okay.
What the?
Yep. So capital G. And if you go to the top here, you see I'm typing in. It's auto-populating everything that will fit those parameters. G U R. So there it is.
What language is this? It's not a language.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that. Gurmuggle. Regular. Okay. Set the font size to 50. 50. Alrighty. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Next, click on OK. And add the ISO of each image to the right of each image. So the next step is, I'm going to go in here. So we know that the top one is what? 6400. And if we do the math, so right now it's white. Let's go ahead and switch that over to black. So right here on the left hand, I have my foreground and my background. I'm going to use this little toggle here and switch it over back to black. Don't worry about the alignment right now. We can align those up in just a second here. So what's the next one going to be? 3200. It gets cut in half every single time. ISO 1600.
What do we put for number 12?
We'll go back over questions at the end, okay?
Okay.
Okay, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I'm going to click on the layer I want to work on. I held down Command to switch, and then I'm just going to line them up. I want to put them approximately right in the middle. And then I'm going to line up the eyes. Okay, so if the numbers are going to slowly taper down, that's fine. Holding Command, I switch over. It shows me it's perfectly lined up. But I want to line it up with the top one. There we go.
So you just hold the Command key and click on the layer?
Yep.
Okay, that will make them very useful.
Your other option is to come over here and actually select the layer itself.
But that takes time.
But that's just extra movement. Yep, you don't need to do that.
And I thank you for telling us this.
There we go.
It's very much so.
I actually told you guys last project too, but
Yeah.
nobody listened.
How's it going?
Okay, now all these are lined up now. I can move on. I'm going to make sure it brings down a little bit more. There it is. Good. Yep.
Top two arms like that.
There we go. There we go. Good enough. Okay, everything's lined up, looking sharp now. Now we're going to add a drop shadow. Okay, guys, I need laser sharp focus on this, okay? Because there's instructions are in the skeleton notes, but this is probably the most difficult thing to actually portray into text, okay? So reading it and seeing it are going to be very important in learning how to do this, okay? Number 12. Next, click on the right portion of the layer to bring up the layer style dialog box. Sorry, typo in there. Will appear. And click to the right of the drop shadow area to bring up options. So let me demonstrate. You have your layers on the right-hand side here, okay? We are going to click to the right of it, okay? So we'll start at 32, or we'll start at 100 at the bottom here. So where it says ISO 100 here, click to in this right area, right there. Everyone see that? Double click on it, and it's going to bring up the layer styles dialog box. You're going to go down to here where it says drop shadow, and you're going to click on the actual words that say drop shadow. It'll change the options here. Now we can tell it, okay, I want to have certain things going on within my drop shadow, okay? So it check marked it for us, which is fine, but there's some very specific requirements I want here, okay? All right, under number 16, under the structure area, that's where we're at now, click on the white box. So the white box is right, actually it's black right now. So whatever this little box right here, it was white when I wrote these apparently. You're going to click on that and you're going to get the color picker options here. Now I want very specific color for your drop shadow, okay? And we're going to affect it through the RGB. We're going to do a little studying on what these are and how they affect your images at some point. But this is the red, green, and blue, and these are all the combinations that make up all the different colors, okay? So for red, I want 237. 237. For green, I want 14. And for blue, I want 14 as well.
Oh, you really like red.
All right, it's a nice deep red color. And then click OK. As for the options here, go ahead and leave them as the default. So it should be 898 approximately. Those are fine as long as they're not maxed out. Someone doesn't tweak with them too much, it should be fine. And then click OK. And now I'll zoom in here, Command plus. You will see that our ISO 100 has a nice little drop shadow on it now.
So is it possible to do this by clicking on all the text layers and then doing all?
Now that we have, no, you have to do them individually, but now that we have our requirements or what we want in there, it's as simple as just clicking it now. So all you're going to do is you're going to go through all of your different layers. So we'll start at 200 here. Click just to the right of ISO 200. Click drop shadow. And then I click OK. And you'll notice now it's in there. 400 drop shadow. 800 drop shadow. Confirm it. 1600 drop shadow. 3200. I'm recording it right now. So yes. All right, we've now added a drop shadow to all of our images, all of our text, which is kind of cool. The purpose of the drop shadow is really make that text jump off the page. You can do a lot of cool things with it. You'll see drop shadows all over the place once you identify them. which is kind of cool. All right, our next step, number 18. Let's see here. So number 16, do we already do that one? Okay, number 18. Next, choose the text tool and add your name and the settings of f5.6 and a shutter speed of 1/60th of a second. Then rotate them and center them. All right, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab my text tool icon, and this is going to be a little different. So I'm going to put, let's see here, f/5.6, same font, so you should have to change anything. 5.6 with a shutter speed of 1/60th. Wait a second. So actually, all right. So 5.6. Okay, so obviously this doesn't look very good here. So this is kind of different. Something we haven't done before. You're gonna rotate this, okay? So we're not gonna make it vertical text like we did in the last project. We're just gonna turn it on its side. And this is a good skill to know. You'll notice when I get near the corners, just on the outside of it, I get that little cursor that looks like a bow, right? Like a bow and arrow. That's the rotation tool, and I'm just gonna grab it and it'll allow me to rotate it. So I'm gonna turn it all the way on its side.
And it'll show its degrees.
Yeah.
90.
Yeah, we want to get 90 degrees. Close enough. There we go. And then I'm going to pull it over. And I'm going to have this towards the top. I'm going to center it out. So I have f5.6 at 1/60th of a second for my shutter speed. All right, and then the last thing you're going to do, so moving on here, is I want you to add your name. Okay, so same process. This is a new line. You're going to grab so we're going to apply text tool. I'm going to put my name in there. Solo. I'm going to rotate it. Oops.
I don't know, you screwed it up.
Just like that. And there's little pictures on your skeleton notes as well. All right, I'm going to confirm that. That's it. That's the project. Okay. From this point on, you're going to hit Command S. And when the Save As dialog box appears, choose the Where as your thumb drive and the format to JPEG. And then when the JPEG option box pops up, you're going to set the quality to 12. You can then turn your project into Google Classroom. So Command S. Now, for some of you that hasn't been working, I'm not sure why. It's Command Up S or Up Command S, depending on the version, I guess. But if you title this correctly in the front end, it should auto-populate the back end. You're going to choose the Where. I'm going to put it onto my Darth Vader thumb drive there. And I'm going to change the format to JPEG. I'm going to hit Save. I get my options, quality 12. I click OK. So now that I exit out of this, I should be able to go into my Darth Vader thumb drive. Apparently I have a lot on there. Let's see here.
Probably way down.
There it is.
Yeah, it's going off of that.
And there it is. There's our project.